Ah, you're back. How marvelously unwise. And I have wonderful news. Today, you find work. Honest, well-paid work. More coin in a single night than most men see in a week. There is a small reason for the generous wage. Almost no one lives to spend it. It is the year 1325. You are poor, you are hungry, and the rent is, as ever, due. So the town sits you down and offers you a choice of careers. Every one of them pays beautifully. Every one of them will kill you before your 30th birthday. Do stay to the end. You'll learn precisely which one manages it most elegantly. We begin underground. The gong farmer. A gong was the medieval word for a privy and for everything inside it. Your task is to climb down into the town's cesspits and shovel out years of human waste by hand. By law, only between 9 at night and 5 in the morning, partly to spare the public nose, mostly because what waits down there is not, strictly speaking, air. So you descend the ladder, waist deep in the warm, fermenting contribution of an entire neighborhood. You have options. You may bring a candle to see your work, though the gas down here is flammable, and the candle will briefly turn you into one as well. Or you may labor in perfect darkness, step where you cannot see, and go under. Light, you burn. Dark, you drown. Choice, you'll find, is merely the scenic route to the same grave. Suppose you're careful. No flame. Then the second gas attends to you, the one that does not burn but quietly switches you off. You grow drowsy. You sit for a moment's rest in the filth. And you do not get up. The medieval term for this was a quiet night. I find it rather poetic. But surely, you think, a cleaner trade would be safer. So you become a tanner and turn dead animals into leather. First, you soak the hides in urine, collected generously from the whole town. Then you soften them in a pit of dog and pigeon dung, which you knead with your bare feet for 3 hours at a stretch. The stench banishes your workshop to the very edge of town. You will not marry well. Though that is the least of your worries, because the hides come from animals that died of whatever animals die of, and one of those things is a charming spore called anthrax. It enters through the smallest cut on your hand, and then it enters the parish records. Away from filth, then. Something by the water. You become a leech collector. You wade barefoot into a cold marsh and let the leeches fasten onto your bare legs, one by one, until you've gathered enough to sell. You are, in effect, the bait. You bleed for your wages, and the same murky water that grows your leeches grows the infection that finishes you. Honest work, paid in blood. Quite literally. Fire, perhaps. Fire is honest. So you tend a lime kiln, burning limestone at 800 degrees to make quicklime for the town's fine new walls. Quicklime is a temperamental substance. It is caustic enough to blind you, and it reacts violently to water, including the sweat on your own skin, where it will steam and burn, and on a poor day, explode. The fumes see to your lungs at their leisure. A great many lime burners ended their careers unable to see the kiln they died beside. Underground again, then, away from all of it. You become a miner. The tunnels are propped with timber and optimism. The air is bad, the dust is endless, and the roof has opinions about how long it intends to remain a roof. If the collapse doesn't take you quickly, the dust takes your lungs slowly. Both arrive. Only the timing is negotiable. Oh, I nearly forgot the most distasteful detail. How careless of me. That splendid wage, the one that drew you in, it was never generous. It was a bribe. The town paid extra so that someone, anyone, would do the dying on its behalf. In this very year, 1325, a gong farmer named Richard the Raker was at work in his cesspit when the rotted boards above him gave way. He fell in, and he drowned, in human excrement, in his own pit. A truly singular way to go, if I may say so. And here is the part no one likes to mention. The pits were often too narrow for a grown man, so the town sent in children, small enough to fit, cheap enough to lose. So you refuse, all of it. You will not die for their walls or their leather. Admirable. There is still work for a man of principle. You may become a plague bearer, collecting the dead from the streets each night and living in the churchyard among them so as not to infect the living. Or a sin eater, for 4 pence, you eat a crust of bread laid upon a corpse and swallow that person's sins so their soul may pass clean. You take on their wrongdoing. You keep it. And the village shuns you for the rest of your days as the man who pawned his own soul for a groat. You see, you cannot even quit into the next life. Let us tally your magnificent career. You breathed poison, you bathed in disease, you handled the dead, and you bled into ponds. The ailments you collected had no cures, only names, invented afterward, so the chroniclers had something tidy to write. 30 was considered a full life for your trade. Many of your colleagues did not see 25. The town needed you desperately, and crossed the street whenever it saw you coming. And so we arrive at the end. Your end. Perhaps it's the quiet gas on a still night. Perhaps the rotted plank and the long fall. Perhaps a spore too small to see 3 weeks from now when you've nearly forgotten the cut. You will not be remembered. Your name will not be carved. But you will be paid, right up to the final, generous installment. My sincerest condolences. By the standards of your profession, you were a tremendous success. You reached 30. That's quite enough dying for today. Next time, a fresh catastrophe awaits. A profession that smiled all day and lost every one of its teeth doing it. Do bring a friend. There's room in the cesspit for 2. Cheerio.